You talking to us?
All right, we're here with NJ Rod from New Jersey. How's it going, Rod?
Good.
Good. When's your next event?
February 6th,
Six.
Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania.
outside of Philadelphia.
That is Call of Duty on PlayStation and Xbox, or PlayStation or
Both PS4 and Xbox One.
PS4 and Xbox One. Awesome. We're here with Tony from AGN. When's your next LAN event?
Shooting for March 19th.
March
Gonna be
19th.
nice.
Okay, and that is Call of Duty on PlayStation 4.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're here with Game On LLC. Dustin, when's
Yep.
your next event?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Xbox
Awesome.
One.
Xbox One, Call of Duty.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm Jake. Our next event is February 19th through 21st. That is Halo 5 and Call of Duty. We're also here with Patrick from Onslaught. How's it going, Patrick?
Pretty good, guys. How are you?
Pretty good. You just fresh off your victory at Detroit.
Our double victory. That's
Your double victory. Yeah, and also you're undefeated in the MES MES live tournaments. You haven't been beaten on there yet either. I think
We have not. No.
You're in fact, I don't think you guys have dropped a single map online. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive.
I don't think we have.
I don't think they've
be
dropped a
honest.
single map in the Xbox. Did you drop a map in the Xbox One tournament?
We may have there because
May
we've
have.
had some
Okay.
other players that have been playing for us.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So it's possible. But
Okay.
our normal starting rotation guys, no, I don't think they've dropped a map.
What about on the? I'm talking about the MES Detroit Xbox One tournament.
No, for that we
No,
did not.
so they haven't even dropped a map. Can you beat them at the next MES event? That's the question. All right, so yeah, I guess we kick things off with AGN. We're adding them to the LGU circuit. Do you want to go into detail about that, Dustin?
Yeah. Basically, as we said before, you can apply at localgamersunited.com to be a part of the LGU with that universal point system that we've been talking endless hours about. But the first edition is AGN. So welcome aboard. You want to tell us a little bit about where you guys started, where you guys are going, anything you want to reveal, any big plans, what cities, all that stuff. What you got for us?
Sounds good. So we originated about a year ago when Gage, the owner, was just deciding to start his own little business, and originally it was a non-profit type of deal for the community, and we're turning it into more of a somewhat profit, but we're not getting into that. And so we're gonna be shooting for our next event is March 19th. It's gonna be a good increase in prize pool, definitely, and we are trying to partner up with Matcherino for our show matches, and gonna be doing show matches every Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, and it'll have a payout.
It's awesome.
And
Awesome.
guaranteed, and that's so far. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, so we're pretty excited to add you aboard. We think you can bring a lot of value to what we're doing, especially getting kind of controlling the East Coast scene for Call of Duty. We think you in Indiana right now is a great place to expand our little dominion, I guess we have going on. Yeah, so that's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony, I have a quick question. This is Rod. How did your last event go? Like, how did that work out? Where was it? Tell us a little bit about that.
It actually went really well for our first LAN. It was in Indianapolis, Indiana, at a location called eBash. They were nice enough to let us host an event there, and it got 17 teams, and went pretty well. It did last quite a long time, yeah. So our next event is probably gonna be last a lot less time. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
as
what
you-
kind of things are you going to be changing? Like, what have you learned? Because this is your first LAN, right? That was your first event.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. But you guys have been
So-
around for a while, right? You guys have been around for
Yeah.
like 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly online tournaments for that. Yeah.
Awesome. It's good to hear. Good to hear. So yeah, let's talk about. Let's see. What do you want to talk about, Rod? I know you had some stuff to bring up.
Yeah, being out in Indianapolis, that's like a great spot for us because it's spread out from what we're doing, and we're trying to get little increments. We're trying to get spots from place to place. Now, Anthony, you guys also mentioned that you guys may want to do events in other places, like in the Georgia area. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we just recently added our marketing director. He has helped us a lot, and he mentioned that he knows a land center in Georgia that
Okay,
may be interesting to us, and we may expand over to Atlanta.
good. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. So like you said, this time the event went kind of long, etc. When you're doing events, what happens is, when you're good at what you're doing, there should be a learning process. So every time you do an event, you should be able to learn from what you did the last time and correct the mistakes, etc. Um, what are some of the things that you learned from the last time that you think that you can fix for this next upcoming event as far as running the event?
Definitely don't run a 2v2 while the 4v4 is going on, that's for sure.
Oh,
But, so we had 4 stations last time, we're gonna keep it at that. I won't have a 2v2 while the 4v4 is going on, that'll definitely help out, and
perfect.
we're gonna try to space it out better to where I don't have the winners bracket all done versus the losers bracket already and only in third round, so that'll definitely help out.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, if you guys ever want to come to Pittsburgh, man, my land center is available, sir.
Sounds good.
Just throwing that out there.
Gotta spread the word, right? Gotta
Yeah,
let them know.
absolutely.
Gotta let them know.
Awesome. What's going to be our format? We're going to talk about. We're going to recap whatever the last event was, and then we're going to talk about the upcoming event. So the last event just happened last weekend with MES. They had a nice event over there, and we have Patrick from Onslaught over there. And I guess Dustin and I, we want to know what pretty much what happened over there. We can do a small recap. So Dustin, Jake, you guys can start it off.
Yeah. So we had so last year I'll give you a little heads up. We did a format. We did a $10,000 tournament. We did a 20K, and then we did a 25K. We're kind of following that structure again, I guess, right? So MES Detroit, we did Call of Duty. It's kind of been our bread and butter for the last. I've been doing tournaments for 3 years now, so this is kind of been our bread and butter. But what we're learning is the success is in more than one title. We did Call of Duty on PlayStation and Xbox. Saw numbers from both sides. Our next event is going to be Call of Duty on PlayStation only, just for reasons we're going to be using all the Xboxes for Halo. We're going to take advantage of the scene here in Michigan, right? So in Michigan, there's a massive Smash Bros. And Halo community. So we're adding Halo to our event. We're going to see how that goes. And we're gonna run a different games. Just throwing it out there. There's been a lot of guys asking. We are going to add Rainbow Six Siege. So just keep that in mind for everyone out there. But yeah, this last event was really, really good. We had a low number of teams, but we learned our lesson. We announced an Xbox One tournament, and then announced PlayStation 4 like a week and a half before the event. So everyone, showed up, thought it was on Xbox. We learned our lesson there. Other than that, the tournament went fantastic. Went kind of late. We did a triple elimination bracket. A lot of people liked it though. They had a bigger chance to compete. They had more time. They got longer to play. First round. So first, the winners bracket was best of 7s. The losers bracket was best of 5s, and the losers bracket was best of 3s. So you kind of once you got rolling along, you kind of had a better shot to kind of get up in winners bracket again if you lost. So a lot of people like that. Yeah, we ran a 2v2 event there for Xbox and PS4. A lot of teams showed up for that, specifically for that, so that's good to keep in mind. Yeah, I think Onslaught dominated the competition. They had a little struggle in winners bracket versus versus Most Wanted. Then it came down to finals. Most Wanted beats Onslaught in the best of 2 best of 5s. And then Onslaught had one more shot to beat Onslaught, and they beat Onslaught in Search and Destroy. They 6-0'd them. Onslaught kind of got their hopes down. They had their coach, Rich Homie Ace, get up on main stage and kind of hype them up a little bit. They got their heads back in the game, and they dominated the final series. I mean, it wasn't even close. They completely obliterated the other team. 6-0'd S&D, capped the flag. I think it was like 7-1 or something. It was crazy. So this is what happens every event. Onslaught usually makes it to the winners finals. They kind of lose their hype once they realize they're so far into the tournament. They kind of start losing, and then they make a crazy comeback at the very end, like they always do. So that's kind of cool to see. Yeah, it was a very successful event. We had $79 hotel rooms, so that kind of helped out for teams and orgs that were looking to come out. A lot of new faces. We have a huge community here in Michigan for Call of Duty. We had a lot of new faces at the event, which is really good to see. A lot of returning faces, a lot of new faces. So we're definitely expanding. We can't wait for our 20K coming up February 19th to 21st. Halo 5 and Call of Duty. We're just going to bring the Call of Duty bigger than ever. And our stream numbers were phenomenal. At one point, we were pulling in 6,000 concurrent. And keep in mind, we did not have one single pro team at our event. When we streamed on MLG, our max concurrent was like 3,500, and that was with almost every pro team in the books. So we were really, really happy with our production. We think it went very well. We're going to play off of that hype. We're going to get ready for our next event and make it even better. And adding AGN to the whole entire deal makes MES points and LGU points that much more valuable. So you can go to an MES event. So right now you can go do Game On's event. Then you can hit up NJ Rod, and then you'll have points for the 20K coming up. You can go to AGN when they do Atlanta or Indiana again. You can earn points at our event for the next AGN event. So the points keep going they make the rounds everywhere. So there's never an event that you'll miss out on. There's events everywhere. So if you can't go to MES, you can go to NJ Rod. If you can't go to NJ Rod, you can go to Game On. If you can't go to Game On, you go to AGN. There's never an event, or there's never a weekend really that you won't have an event happening. So it's really good to see everyone on board and grinding online in our online tournaments for these points. A lot of hype around the MES Live site right now. A lot of people are grinding for these points. We think that hype is going to just continue over when everyone switches on board to PS4. I think it's going to really, really ramp up the whole entire Call of Duty scene and give the under 18 crowd something to play for.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we should also elaborate a little bit on how people are going to be able to view their points.
Yeah.
Jake, why don't you explain to people if you on your site, is it pretty easy to find where their points are and things like that?
Yeah, so MES Live right now, we ran it in quote-unquote beta. Oh, someone's echoing. Someone's playing the stream out loud, I think, or someone turned their speakers up. But it kind of ran in what we call beta form for Gears of War and for the beginning of Call of Duty. So we ran it doing a couple test runs. Now we're adding more features. We will be adding wagers, crowdfunding, all of that kind of stuff pretty soon. So as soon as you sign up for a tournament, if you hit view enrolled, you can view all of your points. You can see who has more points than you. If you have more points than them, you can see all the information. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to use. The website's really, really easy to use. So yeah, go on there, check your points, earn some points. Those will be used at every single one of our events for seating in the bracket. So I think that's
Okay, now
yeah.
when they go to other events, say that some of your teams come to Game On or some teams go to AGN or NJ, what do they need to bring with them as far as so that they can carry those points over to the event? They
So
need
when
the
you
ID number?
go, we should have So coming up, when you go to sign up for an NJ Ride or a Game Out event, there should be a spot on Team Pass sales called MES ID or LGU ID. You go to our website, you look up your ID. It's under dashboard, really simple to use. Type in your ID on there, and the bracket will be seated with your points accordingly. So get those points. It's pretty easy to do. Go to meslive.tv, sign up for free, and start competing today.
Awesome. And another way you guys can track it, and this is not live yet, but we are working as fast as we possibly can. But pretty soon, we're actually going to be launching a brand new website, GameOnEsports.com. I think that's going to be the domain name if I can get it. I think I already have it, but I'm just double check that. Anyway, we will have your player cards and player profiles that will have your wins, your losses. This is kind of like a recap of the last podcast that we did. I'm just going to touch really quickly on it. But once we launch that website, which we're aiming for the beta to start mid-February, um, you'll be able to do a lot of tournaments and things like that. But you can only earn LGU points by playing in MESs. But the biggest thing about this launch is the fact that you're going to be able to have this player card, like a baseball card that will have just about your entire career
Mm-hmm.
with the LGU at your disposal. So we're really, really pumped for that. I think it's going to be something that a lot of people really like. You'll be able to level up your experience with bars and tiers, um, both for online and LAN. So anything that's LGU is going to be right there for you, along with some other stats that we'll be incorporating and other features we'll be incorporating as we go through the year.
Yes.
And another thing I want to touch on real quick is that the big picture, what all these points, all this stuff combines into, is we plan on doing a massive event at the end of the year. A very big joint event with whoever's involved with the LGU. That is going to be like, our goal is to have it be almost the biggest LAN the world's ever seen. Um, with every game that the LGU has adapted. Um, did I say that right, gentlemen? I did say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the overall end game. So that's what all the points and all that stuff are working towards, as well as seeding throughout this season at all these events. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick recap on that for those who missed it, and we'll go ahead and post this video on YouTube after the show.
Awesome, awesome,
All right.
awesome.
We have Patrick from Onslaught. Maybe you can talk about a little bit about your experience at the last MES event.
Yeah, sure thing. We obviously had a pretty good event, given that we won both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 side of the tournament. Um, we always would like to see a higher turnout, but I'm not going to kind of poo-poo any of the accomplishments that we had, because we played an extremely talented most wanted team in the finals. We had to play them in the winners bracket finals, and then we had to play them in realistically, I think it was about a 5 or 6 hour 4-game best of 5 series to finally determine the winner. It was a great event. I think we ended up leaving pretty late on Monday morning by the time it was all said and done, and I don't think I would have changed it for anything. Always have a good time when you're at MES. You get a lot of good competition. We always have a lot of success when we're there, and at the same time, it's almost like a little family reunion of sorts, because you get to see a lot of the same players and the same friendly faces with Jake and the MES crew. So we always have a good time there.
Awesome.
How do you think you would hold up against some of these? I'm here on the East Coast. The colonial East Coast, 13 colonies, New York, New Jersey, all that kind of stuff. The competition is fierce. It's fierce out here. When do you guys think you're going to take a trip to an NJ event, and lock heads against some of these up and coming local gamers out this way?
Well, we definitely hope that we have that in the cards for us. I know, we actually, once we know that we have our roster kind of finalized with the homecoming for Mike and Kelsey, which would be Maurice and Exib, I think that our roster can stack up with just about anybody's. I mean, those two guys are former pro level players. They were on the original roster that we had last year during Advanced Warfare that ultimately took third place at UMG Cali. Took Optic down to the nails. We've paired them up with two of the guys that we spent a long time in Advanced Warfare with that being Sean and Murica. And there's a lot of talent in Michigan. I think that given that we got a little bit of snow here now, but generally about 6 months of winter, it is a breeding ground for good players, and I think that we would stack up pretty well no matter where we go.
That's the thing with the LGU, that Michigan community, the New York community that I've built over the years. we're working on Philadelphia right now. Dustin in Pittsburgh. We have Indianapolis over here with Anthony. That's the thing. We want to build up those communities and actually have rivalries within the LGU.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I
think it's a
think,
really cool idea.
and I think that's what's going to end up happening because somebody's going to say, who is this onslaught, this, that, and a couple of my teams are going to come over there and they're going to try to lock horns, and that's what we want. Friendly competition. Same structure as far as points, and basically growing the community.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic goal to have. When Jake had kind of let us know about what was going on with the partnership with all the other, gaming organizations and tournament providers, it's a brilliant idea because it really allows you to take, a more localized or regional product and really kind of stretch the fabric of that so that it encompasses a lot larger area. I'm sure that there are phenomenal teams that are playing on the East Coast, just like there's phenomenal teams that are in Atlanta and down in the South. And unless you get some of these teams out to like a major event, in past at some of the MLG events or some of the UMG events, there's never really, I guess, a good way for them to kind of compare themselves. Online play can be a little bit fluky, as I'm watching my team right now. The cool thing about what you guys are doing with having the points kind of spread out, and cover no matter what your team is, what genre that you're in, it's going to transfer over to the next. It's going to allow, I think, for some fair seeding, and it's going to allow for some really cool rivalries, just like you said. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Now, Anthony, speaking of rivalries, like who was the champions at your last event?
Oh boy. So it came down to the two last teams, which it consisted of Bittersweet and this team called Versatile. And the Bittersweet team, it consisted of T-Fly, Dido, Examples, and one other. I forget, but
Dustin, is that the same bittersweet that came to my event?
I think so.
Yeah. No.
Was it the same
Well,
guy?
you had Profizi.
So we had
in
different combinations.
Yeah. We've had different combinations. I've had them too. They won my 5K last summer at AW. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar actually with Bittersweet and their rosters. The owner of Bittersweet, David Mulligan, he actually is one of our VPs of talent development. So we coordinate on a lot of stuff. So I'm sure that'll make the rivalry even better if you've got essentially, two guys working for the same organization, sending two different teams locking horns.
Yeah.
And it came out to Versatile actually winning, and they looked pretty nice watching them. It was a lot of fun, and I was actually kind of surprised how Versatile won. They looked really good, and they looked like they practiced a lot.
Well, that's the crazy thing too. It's like you can say that some of these teams kind of come out of nowhere, but there's just so much talent all over the place. It's one of the kind of the blessings and the curse with the 18 plus rule for Call of Duty and the CWL this year, is that you are locking out a huge percentage of teams, but at the same time, you're also with you guys and some of these other events and online play. It's still allowing them to foster that talent growth, and you can put together the rosters that can do surprises, or like us, can kind of sustain success.
And that's kind of where the player cards come in too, because once we launch that, like I said, they're like almost like a resume. So if there's teams that have been just trying to find sponsors, they can actually present these cards with their wins, their losses, where they've played, where they've been, just their whole track record. That organizations they can actually look at that and go, okay, so we know what you've been doing. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense to me, and that's something that esports has never had. It's never had structure, especially in the local market. And we want to give that same high quality professionalism with still not losing that grassroots, that local fun atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like that's something that's kind of been lost along the way. And I feel like it's in some of the bigger companies, that's really just been put to the side. I don't feel like all these talented players haven't even gotten noticed, and they deserve to be. So I think that's also something that we're really trying to fix within the esports.
All right, Jake, anything you want to add to this, to your event?
The next one's coming up. February 19th through 21st, 3 weeks away from Friday. So it's very, very soon after our previous event, but back to back to back to back events is what we're aiming for, and I think we're gonna have a lot more success this year. Getting teams in and expanding two different titles with our online platform now live. I think kind of provides a an overall bigger picture of what we're aiming for with the LGU. That, go play online. You don't have to play through Optic Gaming to be able to win a tournament. You have a chance at winning without having to be envious and phase and all these good teams. And they're welcome to come play in our tournaments, but eventually it'll come down to being skill based. And at that point, novice gamers will have an opportunity to play people of equal skill level, so they won't be facing. Everyone will have a higher chance of success playing through us. That's what it comes down to.
All right,
Makes
Dustin.
sense.
Yeah. All right. Now, Dustin, you have an event coming up. Maybe you want to talk about that. That's the next
Yeah.
upcoming event.
Yeah. So coming up, I'm gonna also reveal some stuff that we've been working on. Game On's been kind of going through like a transitional period, so we've pretty much got a new crew, new management, um, and we're trying to kind of change the way we've been doing things a little bit, but for the better. So in saying that, we're still on Xbox One this month, but our goal, and I think we have a couple different options we're going to do, but it looks like we're going to end up having PS4s for next month as well as Xbox One. Um, so that's something that we're really excited about. But for this Saturday, we're for the first time ever. We actually go really a lot lower than some of the other people in the LGU. We're actually $120 a team pass for 4v4, and only $50 a pass for 2v2. And we're going to guarantee $250 starting payout for the 4v4 for first place. On top of that, I mentioned the PS4 thing. We're working on that, and I think it's looking really good that we're going to do a joint Xbox One and PS4 event. And we're also going to start doing a lot of joint events. Jake had mentioned he's adding Rainbow Six. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun to me. Um, what I want to do is we're going to do it real big in Smash here in Pittsburgh, and it seems like Smash deserves that. It's got a massive community. I didn't even realize how big that community was until I started doing research. And you guys are everywhere, man. You're in like
Yeah,
every major city.
yeah.
There's a huge community here in Pittsburgh. Jake said there's one in Michigan. I know Rod's done quite a bit of Smash in the past.
Yep.
Um, we actually just acquired, and this is gonna kind of be crazy, but we just acquired 10 like old school like heavy ass TVs for
Get some big
Smash Bros.
CRT
Melee.
TVs.
Yeah, you're talking the dinosaurs, man. For Smash Bros. Melee. So we are ready to go for that. And then we're also going to be doing the Wii U version, Smash 4. I hope I didn't screw that up. I think it's Smash 4. Yeah, I think it's Smash 4. Um, anyway, so we'll be doing Smash as well every single month, and we're just going to bundle that in with some other tournaments. But there's a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of changes, but all of it ties in as far as the competitive side with LGU in every way, shape, and form. So, and we plan on having any game that we run, there will be a player card for it. So if you play Smash, you'll have your Smash stuff. If you play Halo, you'll have your Halo stuff, COD, whatever. But we plan on adding more games as long as there's a community to support them. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell when it comes to Game On. Um, Next week, I will see what else I can reveal that I know. But for this Saturday, though, please come out. Playing, it is on Xbox One, but we got a lot of PlayStation players. We let you use, adapters and things like that. Our events are monthly, every single month, and they're a lot smaller than NJ or MES. But that just makes things a little bit more fun and a little bit more can get violent sometimes. Everybody knows each other. You'll meet a lot of cool people. Maybe even learn a few tricks. And we cast everything just like all of us. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and we're excited to incorporate PS4 finally next month and we're really looking forward to all the other good stuff coming up.
All right.
You know, my whole thought on locals is it's not. I don't honestly. It's not just about going to compete. I think, from in my opinion, I go to eBash events because I like to
Hmm.
say hi to all these people I met from
Right.
the local community,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's great that we're expanding because you get to meet new people, and that's just the whole idea.
Yeah.
The social aspect is very important. Like I'm from a day, I'm probably older than all you guys. I'm from a day before cell phones and Twitter and all that stuff. So you had to actually talk to people. Like so, it's kind of crazy. But this the live events definitely promote socialization. You know, meeting people, discussing things with people you have in common, meeting people you never met, and even people that you didn't think you liked based on their social media persona. You ended up being close friends with them after you actually meet them in person. So so yeah, man. Yeah, we're looking out for some big things. All right. Anybody else has anything to say before we wrap this up? Patrick, anything?
No, I think I've pretty much covered it. I mean, I know. Just want to, I guess, thank you guys for all the hard work that you put into that it allows, organizations and teams such as myself and some of the other smaller orgs to actually have kind of a platform to showcase, what their players and what their organizations can do. So I appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Thank you, Anthony, our new member, Anthony. What you have to do now is every time you tweet, please add MES Game On and NJ to your tweets, and then we will gang tweet. You know, I don't believe in ganging up or anything, but when it comes to tweeting out events and stuff for LGU members, I do believe in that. So get your information, out there, and make sure you tag us so we can tag you and everything. Welcome to the family. You have anything else to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, actually, I we just recently added a guy named Patrick who does G Fuel pictures, and he takes pictures at our events, and there's no price required. So he'll take pictures and post them online. You could just grab them from online and put them on your Avi.
All right, go
So,
hard, go
Nice.
hard.
Should we take some
Dustin,
questions, Rod, in the chat and see what's up?
uh, anybody have any
Anybody have any?
questions in the chat?
Also, I would like to, just on my end, I just want to welcome the actual owner of Cutlass Gaming, Jason. He's been an awesome person to work with, and he's my new COO, and he's doing amazing things already. So I want to welcome him
Awesome.
aboard on the Game On team.
Awesome.
All right, Jake. Anything else you need to say? You wrapped up your event. Anything else you want to say before our next event, before our next show next week?
Go watch the recap on MES, the finals. There's some really good gameplay. Maybe you can scope out Onslaught and try to spot their weakness if they have one. But yeah, if you watch the end of the broadcast from the last tournament, someone named Matt Murley on the Onslaught team decided to get behind the caster's booth and scream on the top of his lungs for about 5 minutes. It's pretty fantastic. It made for a quite interesting ending to the broadcast. There's nipple grabbing, chest beating, the whole deal. Twitch.tv/MES reach the broadcast.
Awesome. All right, so just real quick, like for next week, we're gonna recap Dustin's event, the Game On event that's happening this Saturday. So we should have some guests from there. Also, we're gonna be previewing the February 6th event for NJ Halo, NJ Rod, King of the Couch, whatever. The name changes like every 5 years when the players roll over. I have nothing to do with it. They just now it's NJ Rod, but my name is actually Rod, so it's kind of weird, but it is what it is.
Nice.
So we'll be discussing that event next week. We'll bring on a couple guests, and I guess we're pretty much done for the week.
uh, let's take a look at the chat just real quick. If there's somebody who's asked us a question, are we going downtown? Do you mean downtown Pittsburgh? I'm not quite sure what you mean by downtown. I'm assuming that's it, but we're not that far from downtown, man. We're only like 15 minutes. So, come on out to Saturday, man.
and Roland said, "How often does MES have lands?"
We have lands. Well, it just kind of depends when we want to go ahead and announce one, right? Yeah, it's I can't really give you an explanation on that. Last year it was every 3 to 4, 5 months. This year we've done one 3 weeks apart practically, so that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Any other questions in the chat, guys, before we call it a night? About a minute or two.
All right, guys. Our goal is to every week get better and better. So if you listen to the last one, this one is definitely better than the last one.
Okay.
Next week will be better than this week, and et cetera, et cetera. Pretty much done for the night. Thanks everybody for coming on. Jake, you want to just close this down?
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Sign up for Game On's tournament this Saturday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know smaller events are definitely probably the funnest events you can go to. You meet a lot of people,
Definitely.
good competition. Head out there, Pittsburgh.
All right, thanks,
Yeah, and then
Patrick. Thanks,
Rod's
Anthony.
right after that too.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks
All
everyone.
right, guys.
All right, guys, have a great night.
All right, good night.
That's it.